Richard LUMU went in Parliament and withdrew a bill that wanted to amend the way how the leader of opposition was supposed to be appointed. Richard LUMU initially wanted that all parties in the opposition to participate in the selection of the leader of opposition. And it was a window on how the NRM could control the opposition more. But thank God he withdrew the bill. In fact, he stood on the floor of Parliament and said this.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The bill was had first reading on 1st October 2024, and it was referred to the Committee of Parliamentary Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. And Madam Speaker, I heard the Attorney General advise very well when he was there, and I also got an opportunity to visit and interact with all political parties and other stakeholders. Madam Speaker, most of them were not in favor of the bill which I had moved, except a few, which I cannot mention here. Madam Speaker, with that, I accordingly seek permission that the bill be withdrawn. Thank you very much.
That is Richard LUMU. First of all, I commend Richard LUMU for doing the right thing. The bill that was on the floor of Parliament had a plan of controlling the opposition. Because since inception, under unintended among, they wanted to control the opposition. Remember when Mathias Mpoga was the leader of opposition? He was in cahoot with the Parliamentary Commission, and they gave themselves money. They were controlling the Parliamentary Commission budget as they wished, until SSENYONYI came into as the leader of opposition. We were able to see that was in the Parliamentary Commission, and even how it was selected. Remember when they passed the resolution of regional parliamentary sittings, SSENYONYI opposed it. It is when it sat in Gulu that Richard LUMU decided to bring this bill. So, before we even speak about the bill, the spirit behind it was not good. In fact, even SSENYONYI came out to speak about that. He said these statements.
Again, you asked, it is legally not proper to make a law targeting an individual or a specific entity. Because if you make a law targeting SSENYONYI is not going to be leader of opposition forever. So what happens now when you are targeting him, or you're targeting the party NUP, and tomorrow NUP is not the one in the opposition, and now you, who was pushing through this law, now the law is going to disorganize you. And that's why no party on record, none whatsoever, supported this bill, because they know that the tides can change, and then it will not be the one in opposition, it will be in government, for example. So it is not wrong. Even when you don't like an individual or an entity, you cannot make a law targeting an individual or a party or that kind of thing, because the tides can change. We even had told our colleague that, look, if this law had been made with some kind of uniformity, if you want the leader of opposition elected, the chief opposition whip elected, the shadow cabinet elected, why don't you want the same for leader of government business to also be elected, the government chief whip to also be elected, the cabinet to also be elected? What's good for the goose should be good for the gander. So that's what made this law problematic. You're trying to target a specific individual. But it's good in life when we realize, okay, this one has failed, because every party rejected the bill.
That is SSENYONYI. So for me, first of all, I thank Richard LUMU for coming out and change mind. Leaders should understand that they should stop making laws with the eyes, because things change. In the previous parliament, before the 2021, FDC was occupying the leader of opposition. Now it doesn't. Right now, NUP is the leader of opposition. Now it doesn't. There is a day DP was. Now it doesn't. Vis-a-vis, it can also happen. NRM today is in government. Tomorrow it can be in the opposition. So if you make laws with eyes, it is a big problem. In fact, it's better to make a law that even when it is in the hands of your bitterest enemy, you feel comfortable being tried on it. So I first commend Richard LUMU. So the purpose of this video, I've come to talk about the withdrawal of this bill from Parliament by Richard LUMU, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube. Type in Sula Mawagale. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this would be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, the way how our parliament is constituted, our government is constituted, is a mixture of presidential and parliamentary, where a president takes it all, to an extent that even the first runners in an election does not hold any office. If I was Richard LUMU initially, I would bring a bill to make the first runners up the leader of opposition, because the leader of opposition was already selected. I would prefer, just imagine if Kizza Besigye was the leader of opposition during FD's tenure. Just imagine if Bobby Wine was the leader of opposition in parliament, because he was the first runners up during election. Even the idea of the second biggest party in parliament to appoint a leader of opposition, it was a mistake. Either opposition ought to have been the first runners up in an election. That's how it's supposed to be. Now, even the small window where the leader of opposition was supposed to come from the second biggest party was going to be removed. That's the matter of fact. So I thank Richard LUMU. In fact, after Parliament, in his own words, he came out to say this. Here's the tape. That is Richard LUMU. So I thank God that he saw the light at the end of the day, because it was going to be used against the opposition. In that same bill, you know that they even brought a provision that the leader of opposition will be impeached and removed. The way how Zake was removed, imagine if SSENYONYI, after putting the speaker on the spot, to be removed by the entire parliament. A leader of opposition must serve on the behest of his own party. In fact, the framers of the 1995 constitution saw it fit that the leader of opposition must not be impeached, because they know that he had to use his own energy to put the entire government in check without fearing to be removed. They were wise. So for me, I think one, I accept that there are supposed to be an amendment, but the only amendment is to make the first runners up in an election the leader of opposition. In this case, is Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, so that he can control his forces on the parliamentary floor, but also pin the government on how he's supposed to do their work. That must be the only way forward. Of course, that's my opinion. My name is truly Mr. Makinde Kabir Suleiman Magal. If you're into this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment, so that I'm motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.